Welcome back to the Deep Dive. We're here to cut through the noise and get you the insights that really matter. Today we're taking a close look, a real deep dive, into the Pi network. The crypto project, the one that lets you mine on your smartphone.
Yeah, and our mission today is basically to unpack what's going on with them right now. They seem to be facing some significant challenges, maybe even a critical point. We're basing this on an interesting article from Coin Tribune. The title translates roughly to Crypto, Pi Network's reserves explode on CEXs, a fall in sight. So kind of ominous. It really feels like a pivotal moment, doesn't it? You've got this project, huge user base, and suddenly it's at a crossroads. We want to explore those pressures, what might happen next.
Absolutely, and it's fascinating not just for Pi itself, but for anyone watching the crypto space. It really highlights the growing pains, I guess, of these big decentralized projects, especially ones built so heavily on, getting lots and lots of everyday users involved early on. It's a real test case. Okay, so let's dive in. Pi Network. The basic idea was always that accessibility, right? Mining crypto on your phone. Simple concept. But this Coin Tribune article, it jumps right in with a pretty stark assessment. It says Pi Network is going through a period of, instability. What are the main reasons they give?
They point to two key things. First, decisions from the leadership, the Pi core team, that seem opaque, sort of unclear. And second, communication that's been described as disappointing. Basically, a lack of clear communication and visible leadership is creating this unstable environment.
And this isn't just vibes, right? The token, PI, is trading under 60 cents. And the article makes a point of saying this is happening even while the rest of the crypto market is generally picking up. Is that divergence really significant?
Yeah.
Or could it just be lagging?
Oh, it's definitely significant. When you see most cryptos catching a rising tide and one specific project is struggling or going sideways, it strongly suggests the problems are internal. It's not just market weather affecting everyone. It points to issues specific to Pi Network, maybe user sentiment, maybe development hurdles, things like that. It's a red flag for sure.
Okay, so beyond that general feeling, the article digs into some actual evidence, some numbers pointing to this pressure. What do they find?
Right. The most concrete thing is a huge movement of PI tokens onto centralized exchanges. The CEXs like Gate.io, OKX, BitJit, places people often go to sell. We're talking over 2.4 million PI tokens hitting these exchanges in just a 24-hour period. It's quite a lot.
Wow, 2.4 million. Can you break that down? Which exchanges saw the most?
Yeah, the article gives specifics. 1.33 million PI landed on Gate.io, about 904,000 on OKX, and around 186,000 on BitJit.
Okay, so when you see transfers that big, what does it usually mean for the price?
It almost always signals building sell pressure. People don't usually move that volume to an exchange unless they're considering selling or are actually selling. So it increases the risk quite significantly of the price dropping.
But it's not just the token movements, is it? The article suggests the technical charts, the indicators traders watch, are also flashing warnings.
Exactly. The technical analysis adds another layer of concern. It's not looking good there either. For instance, the PI token price hasn't managed to get above its 50-period exponential moving average, which sits around $0.61. That's often seen as a key level to break for any kind of recovery. Failure there is not positive. Then there's the RSI, the Relative Strength Index. It's stuck around 49.
And 49 is sort of neutral, right? Limbo.
Exactly. It's neither overbought nor oversold, just hesitant, no real momentum either way, which in this context isn't reassuring. You'd want to see signs of buying strength picking up. And then the MACD, another momentum indicator, the moving average convergence divergence. It's apparently showing signs it might cross downwards, a bearish crossover. Put together, these aren't just random data points, they form a pattern. The technicals seem to be confirming the bearish sentiment suggested by those large exchange inflows. The article even puts a number on it. If the support at $1.57 breaks, they think $0.50 is the next likely stop.
So you've got the token flows, you've got the technical charts, but what about the people, the community? How are they feeling about all this? They're the ones who built this network, essentially.
Yeah, and the article suggests the community mood isn't great. There's growing frustration. They mention a recent announcement about getting .pi domain names, which apparently didn't generate much excitement. It might have even added to the frustration.
Why frustration? What's the underlying issue?
It seems to stem from a feeling that there are still major bugs and a lack of, let's say, visible, significant progress on the core project itself. People had high hopes, especially around events like Pi 2 Day, but the signals from the project have been confusing or underwhelming for many.
Okay. And this seems to tie into what the article calls structural challenges, these deeper issues that are maybe eroding trust and holding things back.
Precisely. These are less about market sentiment and more about the project's operational progress or lack thereof. Like, they point out that only 6 companies have completed their KYB Know Your Business verification. That's very low for a project aiming for wide utility.
6. Okay. What else?
Well, there haven't been any major new exchange listings, which is crucial for liquidity, making it easier for people to actually buy and sell the token easily, and maybe one of the biggest ones. They apparently have a $100 million venture fund, Pi Ventures, meant to foster the ecosystem, but it's just sitting there, inactive.
$100 million. Inactive. Wow.
Yeah. It raises serious questions about, how effectively the project is operating and actually delivering on its big plans. It's like having the tools but not using them. And adding to all this pressure is something looming in July, a planned unlock of 248 million PI tokens.
Another big chunk of tokens potentially hitting the market.
Exactly. That could seriously amplify the selling pressure we've already talked about. More supply, same or less demand. Basic economics points downwards.
So this paints a pretty challenging picture. Given all this, what does the Coin Tribune article suggest the Pi Core team needs to do? How can they avoid this progressive marginalization they talk about?
They need concrete advancements. That's the term used. Real, tangible progress. Specifically, the article suggests things like integrating new, useful applications into the Pi ecosystem, speeding up the KYC process for users, that's know your customer, verifying individual identities, which has been a slow point. Also, opening up the platform to smart contracts, which allows for more complex applications like DeFi or NFTs, and crucially, building strategic partnerships, real collaborations that add value.
Basically, show, don't just tell.
Pretty much. The article actually suggests they look back at their own past success, the migration to their own mainnet blockchain. It was a huge technical step that did boost credibility at the time. The idea is they can deliver big things, they just need to start doing it again and soon.
It really hammers home that this is a critical moment, a real turn-in critique, as the article puts it. The core message seems clear. Without some quick, decisive strategic moves, Pi network risks, losing more of that vital community support, and potentially fading away in this really competitive crypto landscape.
It's a make-or-break moment, it seems, which leads to a broader thought, doesn't it? Looking at Pi's journey, especially now, what does it tell us, and maybe tell you listening, about how these big community-first crypto projects actually work long-term? That balance between initial hype and enthusiasm versus the hard, slow work of building real technology and utility. What are the key lessons here about trusting these new, often unproven technologies? Something to think about.